How does the future of the Spanish Golden Visa depend on which political party is governing in Spain?
The Global Passport Investor is your go-to podcast.
All right, well, welcome to the latest episode of the Global Passport Investor. My name is Eric Major. I'm the investment migration veteran here with over 3 decades in this game. This is one of many upcoming episodes where we'll talk about citizenship and residency by investment and everything to do with investment migration. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave your questions in the comments section. And for those of you listening to the podcast, email your queries to questions@globalpassportinvestor.com. Now, today we're going to be speaking about the Spanish Residency by Investment program, also known as the Golden Visa. And before we meet our very special guests, let's go over a bit of background. First of all, I'd like to suggest a companion piece to accompany this podcast. Read our 11 best bases for Spanish Golden Visa holders in 2023. It will provide you with plenty of inspiration if you're looking to relocate in the Spanish mainland or its islands. Now, we've talked about golden visas in previous episodes. To recap, they are residence permits that are granted to foreign nationals that make an investment pursuant to the prescribed regulations of that country. So it's essentially EU residency with a price tag. Okay, so let's meet today's special guest. I'd like to welcome you, Orius Molas, who is founder and managing partner of Oriens International. Welcome to the show, Oriol.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, glad. And you look mighty fresh for somebody who just flew in from Spain. I hope you had a bit of rest. And I know we've been keeping you busy already this morning. You had a good presentation, I heard, and well received.
Yes, thank you. I just arrived this morning. I had time to rest a little bit and come straight here.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have you repeat some of the same things that you shared with our wider group because our listeners are keen to learn more about all things Spanish Golden Visa. So let's start with the basic. What are the eligibility requirements for someone who wants to apply?
Well, the basic requirements to being eligible for the Spanish Golden Visa is actually to be over 18, which is that's the most basic one. Having a clean criminal record in wherever you have lived in the past 5 years. Having a private health insurance that in Spain you can use the public health system in Spain. They require that you have a private health insurance, and not having any major rejections in a visa application in Europe.
Okay.
And finally, haven't done a significant investment in Spain.
Excellent. Yeah, let's talk about that because we all have heard about the real estate option and how this golden visa seems to be very property driven. Are there any other investment options that one could apply under?
Yes, actually they are. As you said, the most popular one, and I would say that 90% of investors end up doing is real estate. When we say real estate, it's any type of real estate, either residential, commercial. It can be one asset or 2 different assets. But then there are also other options. For instance, 1 million euros investment in a bank deposit or investment funds.
Okay.
We see that pretty much almost 9 to 10% clients do this option. Many of them also do it because it's a fast track to get the first golden visa, and then after that they change to real estate.
Oh, I see. So it's like a 2-step. They maybe open up a bank account, make the deposit,
Exactly.
get the visa, and then take their time to identify a property maybe,
Exactly.
and then later close on the property. So you could switch.
Anytime from one to another. So, and real estate is only half million, while bank deposit is 1 million. Then there are 2 more options that are not. I've seen sometimes investment in public listed companies or private companies. In this case, the only important thing is that the company has a real activity. If it's a private company, if it's a public listed company, then it has to be a public listed company in Spain. That is, and the investment has to be done through a Spanish broker.
Okay.
And finally, there is the option that I've never seen a case of 2 million euros on government bonds in Spain.
Okay, so the government bond as well. I see. I wasn't aware of that. So they also give you that option. Interesting. Yeah. Well, we all heard, Oriol, you're in the business like we are, that your neighbors in Portugal have taken away recently the real estate option and even this touristic development option that prevailed over the last 2 years. So with that option out of the market, do you think some investors are starting to look or will start looking eastwards from Portugal to Spain?
It's happening, actually.
Really?
Yeah. We're seeing that, we've been seeing that for the last year already, because news from Portugal started a year ago, actually.
Yes.
And
true.
Also there was these delays in the delivery of the
regulations and the law
and everything.
Yes.
So we had a lot of clients that started the process in Portugal and then came to decided to come to Spain at some point, because they saw that the process was much faster in Spain. So yes, obviously we're seeing, and it seems very very obvious, no? From Portugal is next to Spain. The Spanish program is quite similar to the Portuguese program, actually. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing some big funds starting to do some kind of hotel-like projects for golden visas.
For golden visas. Interesting. Well, not surprising. With when a door shuts, a window is open somewhere, and you're very close, nearby window. Before we move on to the next question, I'd like to remind our viewers that if they're looking at us on YouTube, please leave us your questions in the comments section. And for those of you listening to the podcast, email us at questions@globalpassportinvestor.com.
The greatest investment you could ever make is an investment in your future. Rift Trust and Latitude Group is the leading provider of residency and citizenship solutions for high net worth individuals.
Our clients are like our extended family. We're a global firm with a local focus.
What makes us truly unique is our leadership team. 100 years of combined industry experience, and we're working every day with governments to improve and build new residency and citizenship programs.
Obtaining a second residence or citizenship is the best modern insurance policy for you and your family.
Our clients
expect the world.
We deliver.
Hello.
Okay, Oriol, how do you think the Spanish golden visa compares to your neighboring European countries such as Greek and Malta? They both also have residency programs. So what are the differences in terms of benefits and or requirements?
Yes. Well, in terms of I would say in terms of Greece, it's that the difference is that Greece at the end, it's a residency program. It's not a work permit program. It only allows to live in Greece, not to work, while Spain is live and work.
Okay, so it allows you the right to work as well. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the same as Portugal. I mean, actually, the program, the Spanish program, was quite similar to Portugal. The only thing was that Portugal had this path at 280 and 350 that Portugal have never had. Yeah. But in terms of the benefits are very similar. Obviously, if in terms of mobility, it's the same everywhere. Yeah. I mean, the mobility you're gonna get in Greece is the same in Spain. The process in both cases are quite similar. The thing is that investing in Greece right now for 500,000 option is it's in Athens. It has to be done in only one property, while you have the 250 option in areas that are not as popular as Athens. While Spain doesn't have a cheap option, let's say it's 500,000 is the minimum
nationwide. Throughout the nation, so it's one number.
One number through all, no matter where you buy. In terms of Malta, which I'm not such an expert, but as far as I know, it's a permanent residence program or citizenship program, which is different. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you go for citizenship in Malta, it's a high expense, but it's citizenship, so that means that you have European citizenship and that's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
While and Greece and Spain, it's a residency program.
Indeed.
In Spain, they all have paths to citizenship. I would say that the Spanish citizenship it's more clear than the Greek, because in case of Greece, it's not that clear how you get to citizenship. While in Spain, it's clear that that you either have a path, a 10-year path, or a 2-year path, depending on your country of origin.
Interesting. And just for listeners to be mindful that we talk about these golden visas and these residency cards, that in the end you do have this mobility right within the European Schengen Area, which is quite a unique little concept of 26 nations saying, you enter once and you could travel freely within it. But it's not the right of settlement, as you said. Yes. Only citizenship gives you that,
exactly.
Which gives you the right to not just travel, but to work and live and study. So these are really, the right to reside, to enjoy Spain or Portugal or Greece, but also to travel within it freely.
Yes.
So it's some.
Yes, at the end, it gives you the right of working, living, and studying. At least the Spanish one in Spain.
Yes.
And then traveling
around the rest.
all around Europe. At least for 90 days, you can travel freely. The only thing is that there are no borders, so nobody will check where you are during the time that you're traveling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, Oriol, you know more about Spanish politics than me, but from my understanding, the recent election had been rather inconclusive. How does the future of the Spanish Golden Visa depend on which political party is governing in Spain?
Wow.
In your mind?
Yes. Well, to be honest, the two major parties have never shown a position on changing anything on the program. So only small parties, such as there was a party that doesn't exist anymore called Mas País, but it's inside Sumar, that is one of the theoretically partners of Pedro Sánchez, which is the actual president of Spain.
Okay.
This party is the only one that really showed an interest on changing something, or at least taking out residential real estate.
Okay.
And this is a very let's say left party. Right parties never showed and I never showed an interest on changing the Golden Visa project.
In terms of number of seats, is this party relevant or not relevant?
I mean, the thing is relevant in terms of agreements with the actual president. So because right now the problem of the Congress is that it's very fragmented.
Yes.
And it is very fragmented. None of the major parties can make a government right now. We actually don't have. So the government we have is the former government, because there's no
coalition yet.
No coalition yet. This week it seems that there might be a coalition of almost all the parties, but two.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds complicated.
That sounds very complicated. So, and just to give you an example, the last housing law that was passed at the very end of or at the beginning of the year, was at the very end of the years that the government was spent on, or the president spent on government, took 5 years to negotiate. So passing a new law, it seems complicated, and it's true that if at the end they do this big coalition, and if there's in this coalition there are left parties, it is probable that one of the parties maybe tries to do some change. The last time they tried, the answer was no way. There is no way that we even discussed that, and that happened last March. In a moment where it seems that the economy is decelerating a little bit, that it's slowing down a little bit, it seems that it doesn't seem very unlikely that they change. They do major changes on the Golden Visa program. It's true that there are some tensions on housing prices, but we'll see the next months how things go. But I don't expect major changes in the near, at least for the next several months.
Okay. Well, that's an important reminder for listeners and potential applicants that if they have in mind to initiate this, it's always sooner than rather than later, because policies do change, as we saw in Portugal, as we've seen in many countries. Oriol, I know that many entrepreneurs are more interested in citizenship by investment than residency by investment, at least in certain markets. I know you were in Bolivia with our COO, David Reguerero, who went traveling there with you recently. You were there to tell South Americans, that they could maybe fast track their way to Spanish citizenship. How does that work?
Yes. For all those investors that have citizenship from one of the former Spanish colonies, that would include all Ibero-America. That means all south of the U.S. and also the Philippines and Equatorial Guinea.
Okay.
It also includes Portugal and Andorra, but it's not. They don't need a golden visa. So all these nationals that come from one of these countries by origin, by birth, then they can apply for the Spanish passport after 2 years of residing in Spain.
Ah, okay.
So it's a 2-year
of course,
track.
they need a visa first to get there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So there's different types of visas, including the golden visa.
Exactly.
And if they come from one of those countries and they spend the time and they connect and they root out for, you say 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Then they could qualify.
Yeah. So
I think
what
you
we
actually have somebody who works for you who's done this.
Yes, we
Christened,
have
right?
Actually the 2 other partners of Oriens have done it. Krista did it because she's from the Philippines.
Okay.
She is actually Filipino and American.
Yes.
And she came to study to Spain. She did an MBA in one of the top universities. But when she came to study, she came with a golden visa. Instead of doing with a resident visa, she came with a golden visa. That means that the time that she was studying, it already counted for the passport.
Okay.
And after 2 years after the 2 years, she got her MBA and she could apply for her Spanish her citizenship and stay in Spain. And now she's also Spanish, so she has 3 passports, which is very powerful.
Indeed, the most powerful. EU is at the top because 1 equals 27, as we all knew. Oriol, I mentioned earlier we have this 11 best bases for Spanish golden visa holders in 2023. Now, obviously, we recommend the homes of Oriens in Barcelona, but what makes this famous capital city so special in your mind?
Yeah, I think that Barcelona has a special feeling, especially for those that wanna live there. Right now, 25% of the population of Barcelona is already non-Spanish. That means,
really?
yeah, 25% already.
That's important. Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah, so that means that most of international people that come there feel really this international environment. It's easy to find other people that just moved there recently from everywhere in the world. They squeeze in from all type of cuisines on the world, because there's people from everywhere right now, no? And then you have all this feeling of Barcelona with architecture.
It's just so special, quite unique, actually.
Yeah.
Is there any other Spanish cities that you think are worth mentioning that you think are also a great base?
Yeah, well, I would say that Spain has a lot of nice spots to settle. We see that Madrid is usually the most chosen place especially for all those people coming from Latin America.
Oh, really?
Yes, for them it's a very. It makes a lot of sense because it's the capital. It's very
familiar.
It's very familiar. It's very friendly to them. It's really the capital of the Spanish world. They call it the new Miami.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because a lot of Latin Americans are settling there.
Came back, yeah.
And also it's interesting in terms of taxes, I would say. That's something that we can discuss in another time, but also
At a regional level, there's some regional advantages in
yeah,
okay.
there are advantages. There, I think Madrid is doing very well in that, managing that, and also it's a city where you can live very well. Then we see a lot of interest in Malaga in the south. The advantage of the south is that I would say that the season is the holiday season is longer, or the season of property rental is longer because the weather there is warmer.
I see.
It's maybe closer to what would happen in Algarve in Portugal.
Yes. Similarly,
It's a similar location also. A little bit warmer because Malaga is more in the Mediterranean, so it's a little bit warmer.
Yes.
And then we also see a lot of interest in Pamplona because of the University of Navarra. That's one of the best universities, private universities in Spain, and we see a lot of investors investing there just to send their kids to study in University of Navarra.
Interesting. Well, those are already 4 interesting cities to visit if you're not familiar. Before we move on, I want to remind our YouTube watchers to leave your questions in the comments section. And for those of you listening, don't forget to email us at questions@globalpassportinvestor.com. Okay, Oriol, now we've covered a good deal here on the Spanish Golden Visa. Can you share a bit of a background and a profile of your company, Orience? Give us a quick history and what's the current state of things there at Orience? Yeah?
Okay, so as you said, or as you mentioned before, we are a company that started in Barcelona, in Spain. From the very beginning of the program, we started doing the Golden Visa, but we've been growing all this time. We're really specialized in all the process of moving to Spain through any type of residency program. The usual one, or the most premium one, is the Golden Visa.
But you'll do other visa streams?
We do all
the categories?
All the categories in the Spanish legislation.
Okay.
We also have a team that can manage the asset. So we are a one-stop shop for the whole process from the very beginning. When you start looking for what's the best way to.
Would you help somebody if they bought property and they wanted to lease it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could help with that as well.
Yes, and also file taxes, once it's done. So we do that from our headquarters in Barcelona, but we also have offices in Madrid, and also by next year we are opening Malaga and Valencia.
Okay, so the cities you were mentioning earlier. Okay, Oriol, we come to the part of the show now where we ask our guests to share their stories. Imagine that we're savoring the flavor of an authentic paella in Valencia, snails and rabbit and socarat and the whole caboodle. Oriol, we want to have you share a special story and a unique or intriguing or funny tale, either about you, either about the company, either about Spain, either about investment, migration, just something you think that would make somebody smile and enjoy your story. So please share.
Okay. Well, I think there are many stories that I could explain, but maybe we would need more than a paella.
This is a family show, Oriol. It's a family show.
We would need more than a paella. No, but I think it's quite funny. I don't know if I've never explained that how we came up with or I came up with the name of Orience when, and I said that that people usually ask me, what's Orience? Huh? And it was the moment I just created Orient and I came up with that name. I didn't even know that I would be doing what we're doing right now.
Really?
No? Yeah, it was. I was back then in a law firm. We were several partners in the law firm, and at some point we decided that we had to have each one of the partners our own company, just for other activities that we're doing, no? So each one of the partners would create a company for like picking random names without thinking about the name. But I was like, no, if I create a company, I have to think about something. This company, I think, is going to be something important for me. So I started reading a lot of, articles.
And how many years ago would this have been, you think?
That was about 12 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. Sorry, continue, sorry.
It was just at the beginning of all. And And I was like, well, I just started reading all these articles about naming and all these things, how I would name a company, and so I end up with an article saying that you have to put your name in the name. Your name should be in the name, so you feel it more personal. So it matters more to you if the name, if your name is in the name of the company.
Yeah, so the first three letters.
Yes, exactly. And then it has to have something else about you or what you're gonna do. So I came up with the idea of, okay, Oriol, it's my name, it's there, it's obvious, and then experience, because it was my experience. It was like Oriol, experience, and international, because it was clear to me that it should have to do something with international. So I came up with Orient's International.
That makes sense too.
Orient is Oriol experience.
Yeah, and experience, so Orient's International.
Yeah, so
well done.
And
well
then
done.
I
That's
see
great.
I see the name right now, and it's like impresses me of what
Yes.
we've done,
Yes.
on where we brought this name to,
Yeah, it's an extension of oneself. I went
Yeah.
through a similar process in choosing Latitude, and I'll leave that for another show. But it's something that you take a lot of pride in ownership, and it's a great name. So congratulations! I'm really glad that you've been with us today, and for the time that you've taken. So I want to have you enjoy the rest of your trip here in Dubai, and obviously we have a great working relationship, our two firms. I know you're very close as well to our COO, and you're conquering the world over there in South America with him.
Yes.
And it's a great synergy that we've developed. You guys know the country better than anyone, and been very helpful. So anybody interested in Spain should get in contact with you, absolutely. So really enjoyed the exchanges. Our listeners and viewers, I had asked you to stay tuned for our very next episode of the Global Passport Investor, where we continue to walk you through the world of investment migration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, well done. That was fun.
So that
It was very fun.